1/3 of season 24 is down in the Madden Showcase League. The new season has brought us some new surprise teams, as well as teams we expected to be like. So let's see what's happening around the MSL. We start things out in Philly, with Coach MK and the Eagles hosting Coach Nick and the Steelers. Late second quarter, the Eagles up 14-7, kicking it away to the Steelers and the Speedster. Calvin Austin III finds a hole through the Philly special teams, and he takes the kickoff all the way back to tie the game at 14. Later in the third quarter, Steelers ahead. 21-17, Jalen Hurts is going to be picked off by safety, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and Minkah is going to make a man miss before diving into the end zone. Steelers take a 2-possession lead over the Eagles. Down by 11 with 3 minutes left in the game, Hurts connects with Kenneth Walker to cut into the lead. Steelers trying to close out the game with one more first down as Pickett takes a shot down the field, and somehow Deontay Johnson is going to come down with possession to give the Steelers a crucial first down. Steelers hold on to win 31-28. They bounce back to 500 with a 3-3 record on the season with the win. The Eagles also drop to 3-3 on the season but remain in first place in the NFC East. Moving over to MetLife Stadium now, we have Coach Jing and the Cardinals taking on Coach Dom and the Jets. Late quarter one, the Jets down by 7 as Wilson hands the ball off to Dalvin Cook, and Cook breaks it off to tie the game with a 41-yard touchdown. Jets up by 2 touchdowns right before halftime as Murray connects with tight end Trey McBride for a 51-yard touchdown to cut the halftime lead to 7. Then later in the third quarter, the Jets are able to extend the lead by 2 touchdowns again after Wilson dumps it off to Cook, and Cook bounces his way into the end zone. The Jets can put the game out of reach with another touchdown, as Wilson gets hit while he throws it, and that ball is lobbed up, and it is picked off by Marco Wilson for the Cardinals, and Wilson is able to return it all the way back. Just like that, the Cardinals are right back in the game. Next Cardinals possession, Murray connects with rookie Parker Brayton to cut the lead to 3. Then, with less than 10 seconds in the game, Murray finds a wide-open Trey McBride to complete the comeback. The Cardinals defeat the Jets with a final of 42-38. The Cardinals jump to 2-4 on the season, while the Jets will also fall to 2-4 after starting the season 2-0. Sending it down south now, with Coach Austin and the Jags hosting Coach Juan and the undefeated Packers. Down by 7, Jordan Love is going to connect with wide out Jaden Reed after he blows by the defense to tie the game at 7. More to come for Reed. Later in the first quarter, Love connects with Jaden Reed for his second receiving touchdown of the game. Then near the end of the third quarter, Trevor Lawrence gives the Jags the lead back after finding Calvin Ridley. The Jags settle for 6 after a failed 2-point conversion. 4 minutes left in the game. Christian Watson is going to power his way into the end zone for the Packers. After a successful 2-point conversion by the Packers, we are tied at 29. With the Jags only needing to get into field goal range, Lawrence drops back and finds Zay Jones to move the chains. A big 3rd and long play for the Jags, and Lawrence connects with Evan Engram over the middle to bring the ball into Packers territory at the 33-yard line. Few plays later, Lawrence rolls out of the pocket and dumps it off to Brenton Strange, who takes it down to the 17-yard line. With the game on the line, out comes Cade York, and the kick is good. The Jaguars defeat the Packers 32-29 after a game-winning field goal by Cade York. The Jags move to 2-4 on the season for the rookie coach. As for Coach Juan and the Packers, they fall to 5-1 and lose their undefeated season bid. Moving out to Detroit now, with Coach Mark and the Lions hosting Coach Luke and the Titans, with Coach Luke making his league debut. It was all Lions in this one. Max Duggan and Jamo were connecting all game long, this time on a 76-yard touchdown. Williams finished with 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. Then on the defensive side of the ball for the Lions, Justin Simmons has been a force since coming over from Denver. He has 6 interceptions in the last 3 games alone. The Lions' defense has drastically turned since acquiring him. The Lions will move to a MSL leading 6-0 on the season. While Coach Luke loses his debut game, the Titans remain at a 500 record sitting at 3-3. Finally, we send it out to Cincinnati now with Coach Chalupa and the Bengals hosting Coach Guapo and the Buccaneers. Starting out in the third quarter, rookie quarterback Johnny throws dotties for the Hotties. Wilder connects with Trey Palmer in the back of the end zone for a score. Then later in the quarter, a not-so-much dotty by Wilder. His pass is intercepted by Bengals safety Daxton Hill. He returns it into Bucs territory, down by 3. Next play after the turnover, rookie quarterback Easton Turner playing for the injured. Joe Burrow throws a dotty of his own. He connects with Jamar Chase down the field for a 25-yard touchdown. The Bengals take a 27-23 lead over the Buccaneers. Very next play on the kickoff after the score. Bucs return man Rashid Shaheed breaks a tackle and then finds a hole through the Bengals special teams. He takes the kickoff all the way back for 6. Just like that, the Bengals take the lead back over. First play of the very next drive, Bengals running back. Chase Brown takes the ball right up the middle, and he is going to go untouched into the end zone 3. Lead changes in the last minute of game time for the Bucs and Bengals. Then on a big 4th and goal, Wilder rolls out of the pocket and dumps it off to rookie fullback Julius Kelly for a score. Less than a minute left in the game, Turner finds Jamar Chase down to the Bucs 4-yard line. Next play, Turner play action to Eckler. He rolls out and then dumps it off to Austin Eckler out of the backfield for the game-winning touchdown. Bengals win 41-40. Cincinnati moves to 4-2 on the season, while the Bucs will drop to 1-5. Taking a look at a few other games now from around the league. The Broncos and Coach Cam remain being carried by running back Javonte Williams. Williams rushed his way for 212 yards and hitting the end zone 3 times on 24 carries as the Broncos beat Coach Alley and the Saints 45-24. The Broncos move to 4-2 on the season in a loaded AFC West division. As for the Saints and Coach Alley, they drop to 500 at 3-3, but still remain in first place in a weaker NFC South division. Then in an NFC North division matchup that saw Coach Tommy and the Vikings battle Coach Purr and the Bears. Coach Tommy pulls off another huge upset, knocking off the Bears. This comes 4 weeks after Coach Tommy had one of the biggest upset wins in league history, defeating Coach Ging and the Cardinals 55-17 back in week 2. The Vikings were led by running back Keenan Nwangwu on the ground, taking the ball 19 times for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. Coach Tommy and the Vikings jump to 2-4 on the season now, which is good for 3rd place in the NFC North. They will get back number 1 overall pick rookie quarterback Ethan Gordon in just a few more weeks. As for Coach Purr and the Bears, they dropped to last place in the division with a 1-5 record on the season, which would make it his worst start in league history. Now it's time for the MSL Week 6 injury tracker, starting with the Vikings and Coach Tommy. Their first-round pick and number 1 overall pick from the season 24, rookie draft quarterback Ethan Gordon remains inactive as he continues to recover from a broken collarbone. He suffered back in week 1, bearing any setbacks. He will be eligible to return in 2 weeks when the Vikings take on Coach Wes and the defending NFC champion Seahawks in week 8. Dak Prescott has been the quarterback since the week 1 injury. And in that time, he has moved the Vikings to a 2-3 record on the season, with both games being huge upset wins. Coach Tommy and the Vikings are fully expected to move back to rookie quarterback Ethan Gordon once he returns, though. Then Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow also remains out for the team as he finishes rehab for his dislocated ankle. He also suffered back in week 1. He is on pace to return week 9 when the Bengals take on the Chiefs in a huge AFC conference match. Up at Arrowhead, 7th-round rookie quarterback Easton Turner is 2-1 since taking over as the starter in Cincinnati. The Bengals sit at 4-2 overall on the season in a tight AFC North division. Now, taking a look at a few teams having completely different seasons from last season. Will they rise or fall? Starting off with the Chargers and Coach Dustin. They are one of 2 remaining undefeated teams in the league. They finished last season with a 10-7 record and missed out on the playoffs after losing a win, and you are in game against the Chiefs. Currently, they enter the new week with a top 5 defense. We have them falling as the season moves ahead. Then for the Bills and Coach Reese. They currently sit at a 2-4 record on the season after going 12-5 last season. They won the AFC East Division and played as the number 3 seed in the playoffs. Now they sit at 2-4. Their passing game has drastically went down compared to last season after Josh Allen led the league a season ago. Now he is outside of the top 10. If Coach Reese is able to turn the pass game around once again, we have them rising. If not then, they will continue to fall. Then another AFC West team. Coach Ronnie and the Raiders sit at 4-1 on the season after going 8-9 a season ago. The Raiders also head into Week 7 with a top 5 defense in the league, being led by Josh Jacobs on the ground. We have the Raiders continuing to rise throughout the season. Moving over to the NFC side of things, we start with the Falcons and Coach Hunta. Last season, they finished with a 11-6 record and was the number 2 seed in the playoffs. Now they are sitting at a struggling 1-5 to start out the new season. Notably, running back Bijan Robinson has not been a factor in the Falcons' offense. This season, he is currently in the bottom half of the league for rushing after being a top 5 rusher from a season ago. If Bijan can't get going, we have the Falcons continuing to fall. Staying in the NFC South Division, this time with the Panthers. They finished last season with a 11-6 record, which was good for the number 6 seed in the playoffs. Eventually, they lost against Coach Mark and the Lions in the divisional round. Now they are also sitting at a 1-4 record to start this season out. Similar to the Falcons, the Panthers have also had offensive struggles. They have been struggling in the passing game this season, with Bryce Young being in the bottom. Half of the league's passers after he was the league's number 2 passer a season ago. The Panthers will continue to fall if Coach Alex can't get the connection Young and DJ Chark had from last season. Finally, with the Packers and Coach Juan, they went 8-9 a season ago and missed out on the playoffs after a stellar offseason. Building the team, they currently sit at a 5-1 record after dropping their game this week to the Jags. The Packers head into Week 7 being led by a top 3 offense in the league. Even with the loss this week, we have the Packers continuing to rise. Taking a look at the updated standings as we head into Week 7 of Season 24, starting with the AFC, the Chargers sit at the top of the conference, still unbeaten with a 5-0 record. The Colts and Ravens both tied with a 4-2 record, while the Dolphins lead the AFC East Division with a record of 3-2. Then the entire AFC West make up the seeds 5 through 7, with the Chiefs at 5-1. 2 AFC North teams with the Browns and Bengals sit outside looking in with 4-2 records, and then the Texans and Coach Jay sit at 500, also looking in the wild card picture. Switching over to the NFC side of things, Coach Mark and the Lions lead the NFC with an MSL best 6-0 record. Then defending NFC champion Coach Wes and the Seahawks sit at a 5-1 record, which is only loss coming from the Lions. Coach MK and the Eagles and Coach Alley and the Saints both sit with 3-3 records, leading their divisions. Coach Yuan sit at the top of the NFC wild card at 5-1. Coach Chris of the Commanders and Coach Landon of the Rams both sit at 500 to round things off for the NFC. Surprisingly, Coach Tommy and the Vikings sit right outside of the wild card looking in. Then finally, taking a look at the updated power rankings as we head into Week 7 of the season. Coach Mark and the Lions sit on top at number 1, with a couple of surprises with the Chargers, Packers, and Raiders cracking the top 8. Then with 4 playoff teams a season ago being at the bottom, with the Panthers, Bucks, Falcons, and Bears being ranked 27 through 30. That'll do it for Week 6 in Season 24. Next time will be for Week 12, as we get ready to make the playoff push and see what's going on around the Madden Showcase League.